Everybody, guess what time it is? It's story time. No, I'm just playing stupid. I know I've been taking forever to make a story, but I've actually been really, really busy in my personal life. Not only have I been busy, but I've actually been sick, which is weird because I'll be sick one day, then I'm okay the next day. Then I'll be sick, and I don't know. I was apparently getting sick every other day. Story, I was actually gonna do it on Halloween because it's somewhat of a scary story. Pero I was actually sick and I couldn't do it. But a little disclaimer: if you guys are easily scared, don't watch this story. This story, I'm gonna actually skip over like where it was, what year it was, where we stayed, because I can't have anyone put together who I'm talking about. I do my stories for entertainment purposes, but at the end of the day, I don't wanna ever offend anyone. So if I keep all of those details out, nobody's ever gonna figure out who I'm talking about. Okay, so we got all that stuff out of the way. So I'm just gonna jump right into the story. So me and my family were gonna decide on where we were gonna go for vacation and where we were gonna stay. Finally figured out where we were gonna go and how many days and whatnot, but we got in contact with some people and they were like, why are you guys gonna stay in a hotel? You guys could just stay with us. That's such a nice gesture, but sometimes you're like, you don't want to be an inconvenience, and that's kind of always awkward. But we talked it out and we actually decided to stay with them. We got to their house or whatever. We finally got to the vacation and we're just kind of settling in, and we're in the kitchen and their mom is telling us all these stories. Know how the topic even started, that people were talking about like ghosts and demons and malicias and stuff people see, stuff like that. I do want to throw in there, I don't personally believe in ghosts, and that's because of my church background. I don't go to church anymore, but I definitely don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in demons and malicias. By ghosts, I mean like haunted houses and ooh, those type of ghosts. And oh, my grandfather died and he spoke to me. No, I don't believe in none of that. Both of my grandparents are dead. If one of those guys came in this house, yo, no, it's like, it's not abuelo. No, it's like, ah! Anyway, so she's telling us, we see all that stuff all the time. And that she said that one of the times her kids saw their dad outside. Her son was like, oh, mommy, I thought papi was at work. I see him outside. And then she went outside and she saw like the back of the dad. And she's like, why is he here? So she goes outside because she's like, well, let me see if he's really here. And she didn't see him outside. So she goes back inside and she calls him on the cell phone, and he's like, I've been at work. What are you talking about? He says that like nothing. We're just all on the table hearing the story. And then she's like, yeah. And then my other son says the same thing too, that she saw him one time sitting in the living room when he was supposed to be at work. We kind of just spaced out of the conversation. I was just like, yeah, whatever, okay. And she just kept talking about all these weird stuff that are always happening in her house. I said I was brought up in church, so I'm used to those stories, but I don't automatically be like, oh my God, your house is haunted. No, you just know that, you just got to pray for your house. You got a lot of malice and demons going. Because I was also brought up in church, when you have two parents like mine that are very devoted Christians, stuff like that doesn't happen at your house because my parents are always praying. Anyways, just because things are not affecting you in your house, it doesn't mean that they're not going to follow you somewhere else, because mind you, that now they're not in our house. We're in their house. Anyways, we're not thinking about those crazy stories anymore or anything like that. Right now, we're just all really, really tired and we're all just wanting to go to bed because it was a long flight. So we're all getting settled in. Okay, so I don't know if it was the first night, the second night, whatever, dude. I'm just going to tell you what happened to me first. It's gonna be a little hard because I'm actually on Snapchat, so I'm gonna try my best to like give you guys the vision of what I was going through when I was trying to go to sleep. So this is me trying to go to sleep. This is me. This is the floor, and I'm turned this way, and my sister Stephanie is right behind me because we're both on the floor trying to go to sleep. When you're trying to go to sleep, and when you're tossing and turning, you're making noise. Like if you're going, see, even on this wall, I'm making noises, tossing and turning. That's what Stephanie was doing. I'm trying to go to sleep and I hear her. And I'm like, Stephanie. I'm like, oh my God, Stephanie, stop. I hear her moving. And I'm like, Stephanie. And when I turn around, when I look at her, she's like this. She was just sleeping. And I'm like, the first thing I thought about was, how does she stop moving so fast? But I'm like, all right, whatever. She stopped, so let me go back to sleep. I go back to sleep and I hear her tossing and turning again. And I'm like, Stephanie, stop. And I hear her moving. And I go, Stephanie. And she's staying. I'm like, Stephanie. And when I look at her, again, she has not moved. She's like, and I'm like, and it's freaking me out because I'm like, I know I hear her tossing. I know que yo no estoy loca. I know I'm hearing her tossing and turning. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this really slowly. And if I hear her tossing and turning again, I'm going to turn really fast. I did. I went like this, and the moment that I heard her tossing and turning, I went, Stephanie. Yeah, and she was like, she did not move. Just like looking at her like, okay, that's okay, whatever. But I'm sleepy. I'm not thinking anything. So I'm like, let me just sleep right here looking right at her. There, I'm just looking right at her. I end up falling asleep. I don't think anything of it. The next day, nobody talks about anything. We just had fun on our vacation. Oh, it gets even crazier because I know my father. He's my father. I know what my dad does for all these years, and my dad stretches in this unique way. So I am on Snapchat, so it's gonna be a little hard. So I'm probably gonna have to draw how my dad stretches. But my dad stretches where he stands up straight and he takes both of his hands and he lifts them up. After he lifts up his hands, he kind of just bends down and then he just comes back up and then he just, that's how he stretches. He does that about 10 times. So I'm sleeping on the floor and my parents have like their own room like right in front of us, but their door is open. So I'm sleeping this way. And I see like, my dad getting up and he's right in front of the doorway. I'm going to try to draw it. This is how he was on standing on the doorway. If you saw my little drawing, that's how my dad was standing on the doorway. He was like stretching, and I remember he had like blue shorts or something, and he was just stretching on the doorway. When he's stretching on the doorway, he's giving me his back. All I see is the back of my dad. I don't see my dad's face. So I'm laying down and I'm seeing my dad stretch, and I'm kind of like, he looks really tall to be my dad. I'm like, not only is he looking tall, he looks kind of thinner. So I don't think that's Bobby. Remember, I'm laying down and I'm freaking out because I already know that is not my father. But I can't move, I can't talk, I can't scream, I can't do anything. Remember, he's giving me his back. All I see is this. So after he finishes stretching, he just kind of stands there and he just goes. All I see is him turning his head, and I'm like this, and I'm like, please don't turn around, please don't turn around. I don't need to see what you are because I already know you're not my father. After he does this little thing, he just kind of goes away to wherever my parents were, and it's like I want to warn my parents, but I'm stuck. I can't move. Funny because I'm telling you guys this really really scary story about all these things, and I'm completely alone in my house. But anyways, I think the next day I think I said something. Don't know if it was me or I don't know who brought it up, but eventually we were all in the car and someone somehow started talking about it, and we were like, oh my God, you went through something too. So Stephanie, my sister Stephanie, what she went through was that she was sleeping on the floor next to me and she kept hearing my mom walking from the room to the bathroom. Hearing my mom walk from the room to the bathroom, but with chancletas, like click, click, like making a whole bunch of noise with chancletas. You know how people just like slide their chancletas on the floor? What Stephanie kept hearing, and she's like, oh my God, why is mommy walking so loud? And then when she would get up, she would look and she would not see my mom or anything. Just like, oh my God, that's crazy. But then my mom was like, ay nena, sí, yo también escuché cosas. My mom kept hearing from her room, she kept hearing Stephanie and me making noise, like just laughing, like, like ay nena, sí. We were just being really loud that at one point my mom was like, esta nena, like, ¿por qué no bajan la voz? Like, we're trying to sleep and why are they so loud? So she got up to go tell us to be quiet. When she got to the room where we were at, we were both completely sleeping, and she's like, adios, pero I know that I heard them making noise. I don't remember what my dad saw or if my dad felt anything, but I remember that my dad said that he also he just felt weird, like he just felt weird in that place. Sister Valerie was actually sleeping with my parents in that room, so I don't think she ever saw anything, but I remember that Valerie was really scared. So at one point we just kind of all realized, Lord, you know what, there is something in this house. Like, we feel bad for this family because there is malicias in this. We talked it out and we figured out, like, okay, this is what's going on, this is why we are going through different experiences. I'm pretty sure that my parents did a prayer because nothing ever happened towards crazy happened towards the rest of our trip. Like, we went on vacation and the rest of the days that we stood there, we didn't go through anything crazy anymore. Sometimes, when somebody's house is like that or whatever, it seriously just takes a good prayer, because I also don't believe in like performing exorcisms or anything like that. Anything that you're experiencing or going through and you're just like, oh my God, I feel like I have a curse on me, I'm telling you, prayer really is key. Like, it will make that stuff go away. To think that anything good or bad in this world, you can experience it, you can feel it. You don't have to be of a church background to like notice things like that. Like, have you ever gone to like somebody's house house or anywhere. It could be a club, it could be a bar, anything. And you just kind of feel like, man, like I feel weird here. Like I should go. Those are things from the world. Esos son malicia. That's like a bad presence, a bad like what is it, como un ambiente, like an atmosphere. The atmosphere is just not good. I'm telling you guys, follow your instinct. If you ever go anywhere and you just feel like, oh, man, I really shouldn't be here, leave. I'm telling you, leave because it's something bad is there. Friend of mine that every time, and I'm telling you guys, it would not fail. Every time I went to her house, I always felt bad. I'm like, why do I always feel bad in her house? Later on, I come to find out that her mom practiced Santeria. And I was like, I knew it. I knew there was something in her house. I was like, I'm not crazy. I always felt a bad presence in her house. Just the same way that you can feel something bad in someone's house, you can also feel good. Have you ever walked into someone's house and you're like, wow, like, why is your house so peaceful? Not to sound however this may sound, but yes, I've had friends come visit me and they're like, wow, your house feels so different. Of course, because my parents. Matter that my sister and I don't go to church, but my parents do, and they're praying in there at 5 o'clock in the morning when my sisters and me are sleeping. They're praying because they're the head of this household. Whatever bad is trying to enter this house is not going to be able to come in because the power of prayer that my parents do, forget it. There's nothing bad can come into this house. We have no idea what that family had gone through or what they went through for all that stuff to start happening in their house. But, there's other people that we know that have stood there, went through stuff too, and we're just like, wow, so it wasn't just us. Like anybody that stays there experiences some type of thing. I remember one of the times the mom telling us that she saw like this man walk into her room and she was like, no, it was my husband, but that I called him at work and he was at work, so it wasn't him. I was telling Stephanie this story today, and because I was telling her I was going to do it on Snapchat, and she's like, maybe the guy that she kept seeing as her husband is the guy that you saw that you thought it was that. So we don't know, again, what that was or anything like that. But like I said, I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. I know que esos son malicia, and that house just needs like, those real good Christian people que hagan una intercesión. Like all of y'all just do like this huge prayer chain to pray for that house, because really, that's all that house needs. Because the house is okay. It was a beautiful house. It was just, it just had that dude walking all over the place. Thing is that it's affecting her kids too, because her kids will be like, oh no, I thought I saw Papi. Papi was here, Papi was there. And it's like, no, that's not your dad. There's my story. That's probably like the craziest thing that has happened. And it was only crazy because it happened to my whole family. Like all of us felt something when we went to that house. Again, I don't want to offend anyone if you believe in ghosts. Like, let's say you've had some type of experience where you lost someone and you're like, no, I know I saw my mom and stuff like that. I don't argue with things like that, because that's a loved one, and if you feel in your heart that you saw that person, who am I to tell you that you didn't see them? I'm just stating my personal opinion. So that's just my personal opinion based on my religious background, not something that I see on TV like, oh, on Unsolved Mysteries, this ghost, that's TV. I don't believe everything on TV. So that's my story, guys. I'm going to upload this to YouTube just in case you miss it on Snapchat, and comment, subscribe, tell me what you think, or tell me what you would do in that situation. Moral of the story is, if you ever experience anything crazy like this, I promise, if you pray, you will make it go away.